first Bassmasters Classic, your second day. You've weighed in. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
Sure, it's been awesome from start to finish. We arrived on Wednesday. I started down in Venice, and I show up to the hotel, and there's Skeet Reese and Paul Elias and Mike McClellan and all these guys, and it's like, oh boy, this is for real. You know, people have been asking me all along, is it sunk in yet? Is it sunk in yet? Wednesday night, it sunk in. Sunk in hard, so it was really neat to be out there, not just to watch them. I got to go out and compete against these guys that you consider the best in the world. So practice was a little tough. The water was cold. Never really got anything that great. And then during the whole week, just the festivities of the week, the registration meeting, being out in the service yard. The service yard, is just the coolest thing. I got all these boats lined up. All the service trucks are out there. You get to talk with guys, meet with them. Blast offs every morning. The fog we've had, has been a twist to the whole tournament. I've seen some awesome wildlife here, some alligators, some dolphins, some eagles. So, and then today catching that 6-pounder right at the end was kind of the exclamation point on the week. So it's been a great experience. Yeah, and it shows you a couple things. One, how specific fish can get, and you know that, and then when you see it, it just kind of reinforces it. They do get very specific. I was within 100 yards in my practice session. I was all around that area, but never specifically on that general area that they were fishing. So I was able to watch, Kevin Van Dam, not from real close range, but know what's going on out there. Obviously, Kevin, Brandon Polonic, I think Aaron Martins are in there, Derek Remitz, Scott Rook, they've all been in that area, and they're whacking some fish in there. So. And it's a learning experience. It shows you how detailed you need to be in practice, not overlook anything, and make sure you take your time to go through an area. Yeah, you have to. I mean, I've been on both sides of that equation. I've had the water, and I've had guys move in on me. And it is. What you can do is you can look at what they're doing and try to learn from. That's what I did today. I know there's some stumps out where those guys were. I had some areas where I knew where some stumps were, and obviously it has some features. It doesn't have some features that are out where those guys are at, but I did catch one fish off of it today by moving up around where those guys weren't, some stumps that I knew. So you got to respect guys' water, and they'll respect you back when it's your turn.
So you had a much better day today in your second day. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did different to improve on yesterday?
Sure, just kind of winged it today. I went back yesterday morning. I caught a couple of keepers right off the bat, off of actually in Catawatchee along some of the pilings there. Went back there today, fished them for a while. Never had a bump. So went and fished the stumps, like I said, in a different part of Catawatchee. Caught one fish, and then I decided just to wing it. There were some areas that I had not checked in practice at all. I'd found them in November. But didn't check them in practice at all, just because we only had 3 days, and this place is just absolutely enormous. You can't get to. You got to pick 3 places and go, and I had 5 or 6 that I wanted to check. So one of those number 5, 6, 7 places I went to today, and pulled in there, caught 3 or 4 right away. Not big keepers, but decent. That was about noon or so, and then I caught right at the end. I caught that big one. Caught them all on a chatterbait, a black chatterbait. I don't know why, but every fish I caught this week was on a black chatterbait. Kind of shows up good in the water. I had a Poor Boys Kickin' Darter Jr. on that. It's got some ribs, a nice big tail, pushes a lot of water. Definitely think that helped in the muddy water. Fish right at the end of the day was the exclamation point of the week. I hooked it, and I told my co-angler, my marshal, I said, if that's a bass, that's a good one, because there's a lot of different critters that swim around in these waters. And it flashed through the weeds, and your heart goes from 0 to about 6,000 just like that when you see a fish that size. So, but I got her in the boat. She was nice, and she came in the boat, and I got to weigh her in and show her off to the crowd. So it's cool. Just a big thank you. It's incredible to have support like that. You fish so hard and you work so hard, and you spend a lot of time alone fishing, and you plays mind games with you, sometimes when you're out on the water that much by yourself. So to see that kind of support, just encouragement, even when you have a bad day, they're still behind you. I have family from Arizona, I have friends back from Michigan, family from Michigan, so it's been really cool to have them all here this week.
How hard are you going to try to make it back here now?
Hard as I can. This is the premier event in fishing, and just to be here is incredible. And obviously I learned a lot this week. I think the biggest thing I learned is how important a place like this is. I've kind of focused on the fishing side of it, and you have to focus on the navigation side. That's one thing I definitely missed this week, is I waited too long to try to map my route down to Venice. And when I did, it was and it didn't work. It was too late to adjust. So fishing at this level is a complete package: boat driving, navigation, weather reading, not just the fishing side of it. So that's a big lesson I learned this week. I'm hoping to come back to Louisiana next year and apply it. So we're going to the Red River in Shreveport, and hopefully I'm there again.